A very good morning to you, Lagos. Good morning to you, Nigeria. It's on record where every word matters. My name is Oyim Priye Krumale. Today we will be looking at Nigeria's 2024 budget, paving the road to economic recovery. First of all, let me ask you, Lagosians and Nigerians, do you know how much was the 2022 budget and that of the 2023 budget? And now the 2024 budget. Now, if we are talking about the budget, I must bring you up to speed. But let me just go back just 1 year, or let me just say 2023, current year, where we are at the moment. It's about 21 trillion naira. About 21 trillion naira. For 2024, the government has proposed 26 trillion naira for 2024 budget, and some of the key budget assumptions, or will I say the benchmark, where the executive organ of government that is saddled with the responsibility of drawing up the budget and giving it to the legislative arm of government, most especially the red chamber, talking about the Nigerian Senate, which is going to vote the budget, or a combined section of both the green chamber and the green chamber coming together, where the government will submit the budget. Don't also forget the fact that Nigeria runs a January to December budget cycle, and it's to that effect, or for that purpose, that is why we are having the budget drawn up this early, so that at least by December, given all the itches and all the corrections that may be arising from the budget from either the executive or the legislative arm of government, we will have it ready in December. Now, in a country seeking a substantial economic resurgence, Nigeria's proposed 2024 budget has taken center stage. President Bola Tinubu leads the charge in revitalizing an economy that has long yearned for robust growth. Approved by the Federal Executive Council, the budget is a significant step toward realizing the nation's economic aspirations. While it stands as almost 20% larger than the 2023 budget in Naira terms, its dollar value reflects a prudent approach. Nigeria's 2024 budget encapsulates the hopes and challenges of a nation seeking economic revival. Well, I don't completely agree with that, though. However, in a landscape marred by inflation, mounting debt, fluctuating oil prices, and a challenging exchange rate environment, the government's strategy is emblematic of its commitment to achieving economic stability and prosperity. The budget marks a significant step towards addressing these critical financial issues and charting a path toward growth and recovery. The exchange rate of around 1,220 naira to the dollar underscores the urgency of these financial measures to stabilize the nation's economy. Now, some of the benchmark in which the Nigeria 2024 budgets was drawn. Let me quickly reel out that information to you. Economic growth. The 2024 budget carries the weight of expectations with a projected growth rate about 3.76%. This estimate, presented by Atiku Bagudu, who is the Minister of Budget and National Planning, surpasses the IMF's more conservative projection of 2.9%. Exchange rate. The budget rests on the assumption of an average exchange rate of 700 naira to the dollar, slightly stronger than the official rate, yet it takes a conservative stance compared to the 1,048 naira rate observed on a parallel market. So if I were to ask the question, if the naira to the dollar at this moment when we speak, is about 1,200 naira, and the 2024 budget is being drawn up on the premise that the naira to the dollar will be 700 naira, why are we doing that? Did that put us on the advantage or the disadvantage? It's going to be one of the questions I'll be asking my guest this morning. Debt service. Nigeria grapples with its burgeoning debt, allocating 8.25 trillion naira for debt service in 2024. In 2022, debt service costs consumed a colossal 97.4% of budgeted revenue, emphasizing the critical need to address this financial concern. Personnel and pension costs, with a budget allocation of 7.78 trillion naira. Pension and personnel costs now constitute the second largest expenses category, trailing only behind debt service. This cost covers salaries and pensions for civil servants and includes statutory transfers of 1.3 trillion naira. Statutory transfer is another core conversation that we must have. I hope we'll have the time to discuss this with our guest this morning too. Oil production. Nigeria sets an ambitious goal of reaching an oil production target of 1.78 million barrels per day in 2024. This objective represents a substantial 31% increase from the current production level. This expansion is pivotal in shoring up dwindling dollar reserves, a consequence of rampant oil theft. Now, oil price. The 2024 budget hinged on a projected oil price of $73.96 per barrel. This assumption reflects the government's optimism about the outlook of the volatile oil market. Inflation rate. A persistent challenge. The government forecasts a 21% inflation rate for 2024. This estimate is measured against the current high inflation rate of 26.72%. The high inflation levels have persistently eroded incomes and savings, necessitating aggressive interest rate adjustment by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Now, on that note, our guest this morning is Sheson Okwade. Sheson Okwade is a financial analyst and also a public affairs analyst. I see him more as a professional public economist and a financial person. He is very chartered and knowledgeable in this financial matter. So let's go on a break, very brief, and when we return, we'll jump into the conversation this morning. It's on record where every word matters. Do stay with us.
Opinion, expert analysis, information that matters to you. We have it on record Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. on High Impact 102.1 FM. Call us 0700-1021-1021. WhatsApp 0907-224-5018.
Put a touch of class and finesse on your brand by advertising with us at High Impact 1021 FM. For more information, call
0706 393 5694, 0915 958 1881, or 0902 745 3931.
Follow us on our social media platforms at High Impact 1021 FM. Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
If it's public opinion, expert analysis, information that matters to you, we have it on record Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. on High Impact 102.1 FM. Call us 0700-1021-1021. WhatsApp 0907-224-5018.
Hey you, do you know where we're going this Christmas?
Do you want to know what we are up to?
Our daddy is taking us to Impact Planet Amusement Park and Resort to experience Christmas magic and more.
Yay! I love magical experiences. It's going to be a lot of fun. Mommy says there will be ice cream and delicious meals.
Plus the Ferris wheel and other fun rides in the mini playground. Experience magic like never before this Christmas from the 22nd of December to the 2nd of January 2024 at Impact Planet.
Located at kilometer 12, Lagos Ibadan Expressway, opposite Mountain Top University, Ibadan, Ogun State.
You better be there, or you miss out on all the fun we are going to be having. Tell your mommy and daddy that there will be a 10% discount when they book a minimum of 2 nights between October 9th and November 31st.
Wow. For more inquiries, visit www.highimpactplanet.com or call 0814-229-9590 or 0812-271-4373.
High Impact Planet Amusement Park and Resort. Fun just got real!
Together under this weather, here in Wagada, we are gathered with our order, waiting for Dega. Oh, there he comes with Okada.
What be this?
More like gather for the impact of our October agenda. This October, we want to extend some high impact magic to you. With massive recharge vouchers giveaway on our social media platforms and opportunities to learn entrepreneurship skills, thereby impacting your lives meaningfully. Citizens, hop on board the October Impact Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at High Impact 1021 FM and on Facebook at High Impact Radio 102.1 FM. This October is going to be impactful. The question is, are you ready?
Together under this weather, yeah, in Wagada, we are gathered.
Keep quiet.
A very good morning to you once again, and welcome to On Record, where every word matters. I have my guest joining me online, via phone call this morning, and it's Sheson Okwade. He's a financial analyst and a public affairs commentator. Good morning, Sheson Okwade, and welcome to On Record.
Good morning, Priya, and good morning to all our listeners this beautiful midweek of the week.
You're very much welcome. It's great to have you once again. Now, Mr. Sheson Okwade, I know that the 2023 budget was, 21 trillion naira thereabout, and the 2024 budget, since Nigeria is maintaining from the January to December budget cycle, a new initiative we started not too long ago. Now, what are the brief comparisons you briefly want to make between the 2023 budget and the 2024 budget that we are looking at, and the difference?
Okay, thank you very much, Pri. First and foremost, I want to state categorically that budget is a document that is used to guide the operation of organization or a country like ours, and it's something that we don't joke with as a nation, knowing fully well that there are processes that you need to follow to make sure that you have those things come up for use. So I would say that if you look at 2023 budget and this year budget, like you said, first and foremost, we have the January to December cycle, which is compared to the two of them. And let it be on record that most of the time when we have this budget, we hardly execute up to 60%. Most of the time, revenue declines. We may not even achieve 50% of whatever we are budgeted for, and we have this constraint of having a higher expenditure. Essence of some of these things is to avoid impulse expenses that will be, but you can welcome impulse revenue is to guide the government on certain things that they need to explore. But we have seen time to that number situation where those that are supposed to have the oversight function on the executive who implements the budget takes off their eyes, and that gives the executive that free will to do some things that are really not that are putting pressure on us. If you look at what we have currently for this year, there are no serious shifts from what we had last year. Part of my challenge is that we are concentrating more investing in defense rather than even what we grow the economy. And that's always an issue for me. I raised that last year. And then not until government is intentional, we are buying, we are not in war situation as obtainable maybe in Ukraine and Russia. There are things that failure of governance has actually sparked up to create a banditry and kidnapping. If certain things are done to empower people, I think we can take them off this thing and invest so much of that. That's an area that's of concern to me when you look at the values that actually been given. Because when you look at the Maslow hierarchy, there are basic things that is expected of a citizen, of which if the government are able to take care of that, we'll see the economy having a great impact and a great growth in their aspect. So I take myself to that area that so much has not been yielded possibly to education, health, but we concentrate more on defense, which I consider is the current situation of the country, which can be addressed even maybe by dialogue and also empowerment of people in other areas compared to people struggling. Because this thing are brought out of frustration, and because we don't even punish those that are actually creating this insecurity, when we get hold of them, how much of them do we punish? I know the last administration mentioned issue of over 400 people that are actually backing the terrorists. Up to today, we have not had anyone, being punished. So this area we need to look at it critically so that we can have more funds for the development of our nation.
Okay, thank you very much. There's this thing you pointed out in the 2023 budget. Yes, defense took a larger chunk. And we heard comments about the government that that constituted the previous this 2023 budget also giving a budget also allocating more funds to education more than it has previously allocated before. But if you were to consider, there's always been growth. 2020 budget or 2019 budget, 2020 there's always increase. And what that increase, what can it be attributed to? 1, 2, where do you think the government should be channeling increase to in order for us to have a positive impact in the nation's economy?
Okay, thank you very much. The things that are responsible for the annual increase is you consider your growth and your population. I was in a program 2 weeks ago, just last week, and somebody was making allusion to the fact that Nigeria is the headquarter of fertility growth because of the level at which we reproduce on annual basis. Our population is responsible for this because we grow annually and not in a magnitude that is quite interesting. No, we're sharing the data of Nigeria and UK of the indigent or of the indigent of both countries. Okay. And like 10 years ago, you discovered that UK was about 52 million, and 10 years later, they only increased by 10 million. I'm sure you know the level at which they do birth control in those areas. But we have moved from about 100 and something million to over 200 million. And look at those areas, people need to be catered for as government. So they must budget, and that is one of the attributable aspects that always lead to the increase that we have there annually. The second aspect of it that you asked is if I'm given the opportunity, what area do I think I need to concentrate more on? First is education. Education is fundamental in the sense that it's the bedrock at which everyone needs to grow. Whether you want to talk about the formal education, informal education, skill acquisition, and the likes, we need to equip ourselves because an average citizen is well endowed with knowledge when you talk about us in this country, and enhancing some of these things with an enabling environment, for academics, for education, is quite something that we must take to bear. I think I love the position of Lagos State government by making sure, because they looked at the statistics to see that education, people will start well from primary school, but when they get to junior secondary and senior secondary, it starts reducing because some people are not really cut out for this four wall of reading and writing, but they have talent, they have skills that you can develop. I feel government should start looking in that area because it's still part of education. You develop skills acquisition, it will assist some of these are technical skills on certain things that you need to do. The second aspect of it, which I consider, although it's my sector, is power. Power is so germane and strategic to the growth, of every economy. You can imagine if you have 24 hours power supply, the benefit that will reap. Currently, most organizations are struggling because the alternative power supply that we have, which is the generating set, is really not affordable. Diesel goes for over 1,000 naira as we speak. Even if you are using petrol, you are buying at 600. Factor that into your cost of production, definitely it becomes unbearable for the citizens who are the end consumers of some of those goods and services being produced. And that's what is giving us a very tight, competition with some of the imported goods. Because they have a power supply, they've overcome that. You can imagine we battling with over 4,000 megawatts as a nation for over 200 million people. It's not something. So after education, I think we will consider power, and then we can go to health, because health is wealth. How much can we domesticate some of the things by getting infrastructure, making sure that our leaders do not travel to have their health being checked, but they do that locally. That on its own will reduce the pressure that we're having currently on foreign exchange, and we can move forward.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Now that you've mentioned foreign exchange, let me take my next question from that part. Now, the budget assumes a lower exchange rate compared to the parallel market. How can Nigeria, about the budget is talking about the lower exchange rate. Currently, the Nigerian naira is almost 1,200, or if not 1,220 naira in to the dollar. And the government is hinging the Nigerian budget as 700 naira to the dollar. So the question is, the budget assumes a lower exchange rate compared to the parallel market. How can Nigeria bridge the gap between the official and the parallel exchange rates to stabilize the economy?
Thank you very much. I think on the part of the government, they cannot go with the parallel market, because you ask yourself, what actually informed that area of parallel market? Just 2 days ago, I had a friend saying he has some dollars, and he's asking how much are they selling the dollar. The abokiman said, how much do you want to sell it? So that I can look for buyer that will buy. And at the end of the day, the woman or the man will tell you that he's selling for 1,400. And somebody who is desperately in need of that phone buy at 1,400, and we wake up and we hear that dollar has increased to 1,400. That is the level at which we found ourselves. Government should not move with those kind of speculation. So that's why they have actually picked the lower, which is I think about 750 or 760 to actually have their budget, of which they are in charge of the fiscal and monetary policy that is concerned with working with this foreign exchange and the exchange that we have to make sure is stabilized and reduced to the barest minimum. So that's why they are making use of the lower percentage. What are the few things that they actually need to do in such a way to reduce the pressure that we have currently? One, we are looking at, they said they are digitalizing the process in such a way that we can bring transparency into the areas of operation, access to it, and resell it and make margin more than what we can bear. So people are going to be tracking transactions, and that's why we have said digitalizing the process will go a very long way to bring transparency to who and who. So part of what that we do again is that when we see you having so much transaction in terms of foreign exchange for you as an organization, it should reflect in the taxes that you'll be paying to the government. And that the tax authority will be able to track that too, so that it won't just be that you are part of the people that are just buying for selling sake, except those that are in the business of bureau de change. Also, we need government needs to be intentional in making sure that they go ahead to increase our production level. And what does this entail? You need to start making infrastructure available in such a way that an average person can definitely bring out the creativity in them. Also, when you talk about security, I'm sure before now, an average person wants to move from here to the east to the north by road. Not everybody wants to fly, because when you fly, it's just 45 minutes on the other side, and there are a lot of things that you miss on the road. There are businesses, inspirations that comes even when you travel. So, okay, we have this kind of vast land in this area that is not being tapped into. Can I have exchange with the government in such a way to give it to me and exploit it either for industry or for agricultural business? So you discover that security is very germane and fundamental in closing that particular gap, in making sure that we are able to move from here to Inewi. About 2 weeks ago, I was on my way from Lagos to Benin, and I saw the road that was fixed like 2-3 years ago by the last administration already given way. That's a threat to life, if you ask me. And if we have proper monitoring of some of these projects that are being handled by this contractor, being done in the right specification, I think we'll be having so much savings on the part of the government. I'll be able to move. Okay,
thank you very much. Now, Mr. Sheson, there's this question, most especially the layman will ask, why does the naira or the Nigerian economy has become so dollarized, in the sense that almost every aspect of the economy, if the dollar soars to 1,500 naira today, it affects as something as low as the staple food item in the Nigerian market, which is even produced here in the country. So people just want to ask, why is that? And number one. Number two, the Wizkids of this world, the Tiwa Savage, the Yemi Alades, the Burna Boys, these Nigerian actors and musicians, they go to places like the O2 Arena. They are invited for concerts and performance in the United States of America, and they end up being paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars. How does this contribute to the nation's economy? And these are just very few. There are thousands of Nigerians who earn in foreign currencies, and they are back in Nigeria. How do they bring back this money to the country? And don't this money is earned by this private individual have some form of capacity to favor the Nigerian economy, to buoy the Nigerian economy to be productive in any sense?
Okay, the first question on the reason why everything is dollarized,
yes,
at the spark of the dollar,
yes,
you see everything going up, is because we are not producing anything. Priya, I'm sure you are privileged to the information of certain imported food items. Are you aware that
yes,
we now import gari that is being done in Ijebu and in the yellow gari in the east that we process ourselves? Now we bring in gari from China. I'm sure you've heard about imported bread of about 10,000. These are bread that we produce locally because we have all the raw materials. So practically all the things that you can talk about now in the country are being imported. And you may not want to believe, but that's just the truth. How many of the manufacturing companies do we have that are still moving on in this country? A lot of them have moved out because of the cost of operation, because of the multiplicity of taxes that has actually impacted on them, seriously. So that is the major reason. A lot of the things that you have, as low as toothpick, matches, have been imported. That we no longer have tires, the automobiles, and all the like. So at the spark of it, you discover that these people actually needed some of those things. And you discover that when you are aware of some of the items that were ban of having access to foreign exchange for the three. When this administration came, they lifted it, and people were saying you want to kill the local content. This
yes,
is not supposed to be. The question is, what are the gains that we had when ban were put on those things? We discovered that average Nigerians were actually exploiting their fellow citizens. 1, 2. Majority of them could not compete favorably with those products that have been brought in. Why? Because the cost of operation was pretty high on their part, and it becomes unaffordable, for an average citizen. So you discover that when you bring those things in, it's much more cheaper compared to, because it's still the same rate, it's just the old dollar that is. That's why we are saying that government should be intentional in making sure that they create a conducive environment, make our production to be on the increase. Since we have the raw material, the major factor of production that we have three that are very germane. We have the raw materials here. We have the human capital. When you talk about our population,
yes,
the finance is really not a problem. The only thing we are lacking is the machinery, which is the process of which you can start considering on our part here. On the second wing of the question,
yes,
the question that border around
Nigerian celebrities that earn dollars.
Okay, celebrities that earn dollars. You see, majority of those funds hardly come into the country. Why? When they earn those dollars, they bring it at a very low rate. So they will rather go all out to see how they can be bringing it in small, maybe giving it to individual. Are you aware there are other people in other sectors that will tell you that they earn dollars, but because they must submit it to CBN at the rate you and I have confirmed this morning, which is about 700 that they are having as the budget rate, they want to feel that they are losing when they can sell to the parallel market at over 1,000 naira to make more margin. So these are part of the challenges we are faced with. And how much are we tracking some of the income on the part of this individual there, and how sincere is the agency of the government responsible for actually, taxing those people with the revenue that they are making? They are citizens of the country. If you have expatriates that are paying their taxes here because they are working here, then definitely they are obliged to pay such. But most of the time, even when the agency is responsible, run after these people for the hard-earned money that they have made, the question will be, the government want to kill them. We are not getting value even of the money that they are paying. I remember the one that happened between the Lagos State government and one of the actresses, where she had to say, why would they have to actually backbuild this and that? They gave her the actual of what she's supposed to pay. But she came out and said, if she has such money, will she be where she are? But they valued her. Look at the house they all built. Look at somebody was trying that house in Qatar of about 500 million was the money. And I asked myself, how much taxes are this set of people paying to the coffers of the government? So we've actually challenged the government to see how we can track some of this. It's not just putting your sledgehammer on the lower cadre people.
Okay.
You and I that make our payee, make it conducive in such a way that you can track all the activities. When you travel out of the country, you will see that you cannot even beat the system. Every cover that you make is actually being tracked by the government, and they take their own fair share from it. Otherwise, you'll be prosecuted, because when you avoid tax, is a criminal offense, which you can be prosecuted for it.
All right. Thank you very much. Now, Mr. Sheson Okwade, we are due for a break. We are going to go on a break and be back. But the thing is, when we are back, we are going to move away from this dollarization conversation. I wanted to actually, continue, most especially in Nigerian celebrities that earn in dollars, and the way Amana they bring in this the dollars and the euros and the pound sterling into the country, and the effect it should have on the country if they were to bring it officially at the price of the parallel market. If the government buys it from them at that price, or if they are bringing it through the back door to make sure they are making profit on their own, well called illicit profit, though. I want to take a look at that, but let me extend that conversation to another day. Just stay on the line. When we are back, we are going to take a look at the second part of the budget in the 2024 budget that is talking about 7.78 trillion naira, which is the second most expensive, talking about personnel and pension costs. We'll be back in a moment. Sheson Okwade, please stay on the line. We'll be back in a moment. Do stay with us. It's on record where every word matters.
If it's public opinion, expert analysis, information that matters to you, we have it on record Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. on High Impact 102.1 FM. Call us 0700 1021 1021. WhatsApp 0907 224 5018.
Welcome back. Many thanks for joining us on the program. It's on record where every word matters. My conversation this morning has been with Sheson Okwade. He's a financial analyst and a very, very good one at that. And we are talking about 2024 budgets, paving the road for economic recovery. And we have been having a conversation looking at different aspects of the budget, and we will go to another section now. Good morning once again, Sheson Okwade. Many thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much, Priya, for having me.
Great. Now, personnel and pension costs in 2024 budget. Now, with the budget allocation of 7.78 trillion naira, personnel and pension costs now constitute about the second largest expense category, trailing only behind the debt service. The cost covers salaries and pensions for civil servants and includes statutory transfers of 1.7 trillion naira. So if the question is, personnel and pension costs are expected to be a significant significant expense. How can the government address issues relating to ghost workers and improve the efficiency of the public sector payroll management?
Yeah, thank you very much, Ray, and welcome back once again.
Yes.
In that aspect, part of the things we've had the government to do is to digitalize the process of human capital, in the sense that each one have access to the signing details for the MDAs. Don't forget, we all know that government is the largest employer of labor because of every sections that they actually do. But we know that politicians at times exploit the opportunity to have lots of ghost workers who, when you look at them, they do not even work with the government, but they are on the payroll of the government. And the only way you can curb this is by having a good a robust HR management platform, where every individual that are responsible working with a particular MDA, any ministry, department, or agency, can log in and you can track the number of days that they come to work. And I'm sure that's what is obtainable in the private sector. Most people, there are trackers, of activities of employees within a specific organization on daily basis, and HR, interlink with the finance to disburse out. When you're absent without any excuse or you are not in the office, you need not to talk to anybody. The system already generates your report on daily basis when you sign in. If you're able to digitalize that process and monitor effectively, that will cover the aspect of one of the challenges that the current Minister of Work faced with when he came in, and as at 9:30 he decided to lock the door, and the workers took to street, which I believe is really insensitive on the part. What are we preaching to the upcoming generation? You sign a contract to be at work for 9, and as at 9:30 somebody is shutting you out. You are saying that it's actually doing over sabi to permit me to use the word. So I think digitalizing the process, investing hugely in this, we assist to change those areas of the personnel cost. Also, when you look at the aspect of the pension, it's something that is critical. I still know that a lot of people are still being owed pension after serving the country for more than 35 years, or they are above 60. The major productive years have actually been used for the government, and they need to be taken care of. But at times, you still see people who are high up there who manipulate things not to favor this pensioner. You see them coming out to raise their eyebrows. It's just out of insensitivity and the part of some of the people that are at the aim of affair of some of these agencies to be cheating people if they have not done certain things right. People that are currently working now, what benefit, what yardstick will you be riding on to do some of those things that you're doing now? So it's something that I feel is critical, because we are all going to live along and stay back to eat the fruit of our labor. But government needs, being the highest employer of labor, needs to do the. But we need to start checkmating those activities from now, so that we don't have so much of pensions to be paying. Some people are collecting pension even when they do not even attend to any work in the government. And the only area you can cut those things is by digitalizing it. It's not going to take anything, but when you come to work, you thumbprint and you come in, you sign in, and you can log it in for that day that you are actually part of the workforce for that day, and you contributed. And not just that alone, people are tracking the activities that you are doing in the office now. I think government should start introducing the face of the private sector to make sure that even when you are engaged, you contribute to the bottom line, not just coming and going because you feel it's government work. Government work is as much as important as the private sector, because they are the policy formulators, and whatever policy they formulate impacts on some of the activities of the private sector, and it should be taken as serious as any other thing. Okay.
We are going to be rounding up with this pension issue, but the thing is, let me paint up. I'm sure you are not unaware, recently in Ogun State, where the pensioners gathered, and a few of them, slumped. Some of them passed out, some of them fainted. If not two of them was reported to have, passed on. This is not new in Nigeria, where we see elderly citizens, after spending 35 or 40 years in government employment, and they are not being treated properly to get back their money, their emolument that they are required to be paid after serving the country for 35 years. However, when you look at Nigerian politicians, some of them serve as governors or state house or state assembly legislators. They serve as senators. They are serving as a member of the House of Representatives, and sometimes other ministers or commissioners. These persons are being paid pension as well. We know of governors who are entitled to SUV, bulletproof vehicles, and hundreds of millions of naira by way of pension. We are pensioning political office holders in Nigeria, while the Nigerians who spent more than 35 years, 40 years working in the states, they're not being taken good care of. How can we break this, bad trend?
Yeah, it's something that will be difficult, because those that formulate the policy are the ones that are enjoying it. And you've seen instances where people pick them up, take them to court. I think part of the things we need to be doing is how we engage people that are very sensitive to the plight of an average citizen. in the place of leadership. Because when you have it, while you are even serving the government, there are a lot of largesse that you would have enjoyed. I know that some of them have some parting gifts that just relying on that alone and business network that you've had, it's enough to sustain you. So I believe that until we have leaders that are intentional about the growth of every citizen, that will not be. It's something that is moral justification, where you know that I'm not supposed to be having this. There are a lot of people that are out there. But I think even our environment are really not too encouraging. Why do I say this? Most of the time they do that to actually bring people down so that you can go ahead and beg from them. So when they raise, they say, but you know that I'm taking care of the people too in the community, and where do you expect me to get money? Is there my own pensions too? I'm no longer in government, but they think that I am also there. It's happened to everybody. Most of the time, you see individuals coming to meet me to say, these are the government officials, and I don't work for government, or because I do analysis on TV. So our followers too must change their orientation in approaching some of these politicians so that we can mitigate those forces. It's something that I feel is really not justifiable. If you are serving for 80 years, I'm sure the resources that the state has provided for you while in office should be enough to take care of you in a very lifetime. Don't forget, there are certain, some of them, they have opportunity of even scholarship for their kids outside the shore of the country based on individuals that are making those provisions for them while they are in power. So it's something that is really impacting on every citizen, which the leaders need to look into morally. I know they might tell you that it's being backed by the law, but there are certain things that is morally justifiable for you to even move, raise your head above water when you are moving on the street.
All right. Thank you very much, Sheson Okwade, financial expert and public affairs analyst. Thank you so much for your time joining us this morning on Record.
Thank you very much, Priya, for having me, and let our people continue to encourage themselves, knowing fully well that this is just a passing phase. Will get even to the better place in no distant time.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And this is where we drew the curtain on Record this morning. I'm Uyin Priye Krumale. Many thanks for listening. Good morning to you.
Welcome to On Record.
Every word matters.
What I want to do is to take Nigeria from consumption to production.
My name is Mr. Innocent Chugoma. I started by trading on motorcycle scrappers.
They really ask, how much is the Nigerian life worth?
Policing is everybody's business, not the business of the men on uniform alone.
We will establish student loan 4 years course. Must be